Welcome to the social reel.
I can still hear you.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
And you're on.
I know. Thank you so much.
Every time. I'm like, just listen to the cues.
Hello, my friends. We meet again. It's been a while. Where should I begin? All right. We have a guest today. We're going to get to him in just a second. We have some snacks to try today, but not as many snacks. So the snacks are dwindling. They're going the way of the dodo.
So we say. Well, you said the snack show is
The snack show
dwindling.
is pretty much done. We're not doing that anymore. We're just going to incorporate it. Unless we have a massive pile of snacks, I'm trying to incorporate them into every show. But what I'm saying is, like, stuff is getting a little bit harder to find. They're not releasing as much new stuff. And I'm kind of scrambling at the moment to find stuff. I mean, there's new fast food stuff that'll come out that I'll eventually try on the show. I tried the new Honey Hot gross Taco Bell stuff today. It was gross. Don't even worry about it. But
Well, I know you're rip raring to try the Takis thing at Wendy's.
Christ, we talked about that last week, but no.
Fucking
I'm
diarrhea
able
in
to
a
wear
bag.
my headphones this week anyways.
Yeah, his midlife crisis is kind of tamed down a little bit.
So, without further ado, I want to get this guy on. He has a heart out today. He's got to go do real stuff, whereas we're just having fun on a podcast on YouTube. But my good friend, someone who I deployed with, and I've always looked up to, kind of been like he's younger than me, but like he's my older brother. My buddy Mike Lanouar is going to be on the show. Hi, buddy.
What's up?
Did you hear that intro?
Look up to me. That's
Yeah,
funny.
I did.
I
did.
wouldn't. I'm a child.
We were deployed in Afghanistan in 2012 through 13. We weren't in the same like area, but we saw a lot of the same stuff. You got me some sweet shades that are still somewhere in this house, and you were the first
Yeah.
person to ever give me a Coheed and Cambria comic book.
Well.
So, that I still have. It's on one of these shelves.
That's 1% of his
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah. So, how are you
Dope.
doing, Mike?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're good. I saw you are on some other podcasts, and I got jealous, and I said you need to be on my podcast.
Yeah. It's the fame wants me, I guess, because now I'm getting asked to get on all these podcasts. No, I'm just joking.
No, you're on real podcasts. This is just something I do.
Yeah, now you're on real podcasts.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's another podcast I produce or help produce with some of the guys from Live Bearded, and they asked me to be on it, and I was a little shocked that they asked me to be on it because I don't look at myself as somebody that has a whole lot to say, but
You've always had.
yeah,
though.
it turned out pretty good, I guess, because I've had a lot of people inquire about it, so
Do you know
including
who-
you.
Yeah. Do you know?
Live bearded. I know that. Back when I had a beard.
Do you know Lisa Cortez? She knows
Sounds
you.
familiar.
She was at Scottsdale when you were there. I think she was a dispatcher.
Oh, maybe.
Oh,
I didn't.
okay.
I was in
She's a
so I was
mutual
in a
friend.
special assignments unit,
Yeah.
and so I didn't really like talk to normal dispatch or deal with like patrol very much.
Oh, okay. So without jumping around and everything, just so people kind of know what we're talking about, Mike was in the military, and then he was a Scottsdale police officer, and now he runs Trouble Seas Media, and we're going to talk about Trouble Seas Media because I find it very interesting. I always see your pictures. As I know it, when you were in Afghanistan, you love taking pictures anyway. So how did Troubled Seas Media come to be?
Yeah. So what kind of happened is obviously, like you were saying, is I started taking photos when I was in high school, probably even a little bit before that. Like when I was younger, I always had this like weird obsession with being creative. You know, he's speaking to we went to war, and I was a SWAT operator for like 9 years, and I always had that like fighting and gun and stuff like that, but I was always fascinated with creating stuff and drawing, painting, building stuff, but photos always seemed to be really where I'd always land. I couldn't draw like I wanted to, but I could make the photos look like I wanted to, so I just kind of gravitated towards that. And then I was excuse me, I was on the teams, and I was also deployed, and we take all these photos, and people were just like, man, these are really good. And I was kind of like, oh, they're fun to take, like great memories. And I enjoyed the fact that people wanted them. And but then people were like, man, I'll pay you to give me the photos. And I was like, I'm not going to make you do that. Like, we've deployed together here, you can just have them. And it just kind of sparked this little idea, but I never really thought about it like as a career or that I would really pursue it. I was just like, oh, it's a cool idea. Fast forward to I'm on the SWAT team, and we have plate carriers and different equipment that these companies give us, and they were like, hey, do you want to um, I was taking photos with them, and I was just kind of posting them on my own social, and they reached out and they were like, hey, we love these, would you like to shoot for us and we'll pay you? And that was the first time somebody's like, well, how much would you charge? And I was like, I have no idea. So then YouTube came in, and I like went down the rabbit hole for ever trying to just figure out how to start charging for photos and how to shoot them properly and evolve and all that. And then that gave me like little bits of money. And then I had a life event happen. More than happy to talk about it, but basically I got a DUI as a cop. I fully owned up to it. It was my own fault. I put myself in a bad situation. I had to force retire from the PD, and I was kind of like, well, where do I go? What do I do? And some of the stuff that's just been burned into me from like the SWAT teams and stuff is always like, find work, do the next thing, don't dwell on stuff. So I was like, well, I have the skill set of taking photos, and I've gotten little bits of money here and there for it. So I just kind of fully went all in on it, and now it's grown to this really big thing, actually, shooting for multiple brands, owning my own company partially. I do shoot for a couple places that employ me, but that was really just to make it easier on taxes for me as a
That's awesome.
first-time business owner. So yeah, and then it's just branched out, and now I shoot for, man, all types of different brands.
Dude, that's awesome. I didn't actually know how it like went down, or how like you were, if you were making money doing it. It just seemed like you were, like, I would see you, oh, I'm going to Fiji this week. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like, how, like, this dude went from being like a cop to going to Fiji and taking photos. I had no idea. Because like you've always been well off, in my opinion. Not like saying that you're rich or anything, but just, you've always been fine, like good with your money type of thing. So I just thought like you were having fun. I had no idea what you were doing, so it's really good to
Yeah.
hear that. Like, was this the path you always wanted to go? I'm sure the DUI and all that stuff did not help. You probably would have been on the police force until you retired. But is it almost like a blessing, or is this like,
So,
oh my god, I'm doing what I love?
yeah, I mean, I am lucky enough to say that I have a second career in something that I absolutely, truly am passionate about. I know a lot of people can't say that about just one career. So to have a second one, like, I'm truly blessed in that aspect. And I mean, it wasn't easy. I definitely dug deep for it, but I truly go to work and I'm like, oh, this is sick. Like, yeah, I get to travel to Fiji. And like, I said this on the other podcast that I was on, and I'll say it here too, is like, I didn't get to where I am or what I'm doing alone. It definitely wasn't me that did all of it by myself. I had a lot of help along the way. Um, your Fiji thing you're talking about, Liv Bearded and Anthony Mink, the CEO there, he brought me on to do his personal branding. And with that, he traveled. So then I traveled with him. So I wouldn't have gotten those opportunities on my own. Um, People took chances on me along the way here. Luckily, I didn't let them down, and then I got to see these cool places and kind of go on these cool adventures, and it's blossomed into where it is now. But yeah, and every aspect of this story and my story right now is somebody was there for me when I needed them, and helped me get to that next rung. So I definitely would have took myself out of PD. I mean, I truly feel like I was built for that kind of work. Like, I saw the bad stuff. I was always there. I loved every moment of it, good, bad, and different. I just loved serving, and I loved the type of work I was doing there. I felt fulfilled doing it. So I always said I wouldn't leave until I was dead or broken. But then life changes and things happen, and something pulled me out of it and put me in a new direction. And even when I was trying to like fix things and I had an opportunity to possibly go back, that even got shut down. So I truly feel like whatever power you want to believe in directed me towards this way, and it's been a great great thing for me now that I'm on this path.
Dude, that's awesome. So I was looking at your I mean, I always look at your website. I see like you have like I could book you. Like the normal average Joe could call you up and book a session, and you would come out and take pictures and stuff. Correct? This isn't
Absolutely,
just like
yeah.
brand deals. So like if there's people out there that are listening that are like, oh, I want to get some cool shots.
So I'm just going to pull the
Yeah.
curtains back. He was talking before the show about doing boudoir photos. So I don't know if that's what you do, but
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
I think
we're always
Mike would
about
be-
building confidence in people. So
I think Mike would be okay.
I mean, he's got the
doing
new
those.
piercings
Well,
now
yeah,
and
we
stuff.
we'll get him to arch his back, and we'll get some good lighting on him. You'd be surprised what comes out of this camera.
Go ahead and just put your finger up to your lip.
Yeah, just gently.
So the other thing that you and I kind of have in common, we both love music. Like, a
Fuck
lot.
yeah.
So, are you? I know that you do some. I don't know if they're a local band. I don't know. I've never reached out. I
Yes.
should really reach out and ask you.
I'm gonna say Winter Haven. If anybody here likes music and thinks like pop punk, post pop punk, that kind of style is dope, Winter Haven, Winter Haven _band, I think is their social. But I do all their video work. I made a music video for them, different stuff like that. And dude, they're sick. And they're the most professional guys I've ever met in my life. And that's why I help them, and that's why I continue to like work with them. Is just, it astounds me. Like we go to shows and they are on it, they're on time, they're on the stage when they need to be, they leave the stage immediately when they need to. And but that connection, again, things that I wouldn't have been able to do on my own, got me to go to like California Was for Lovers. I got to shoot Thursday, Thursday,
I'm so
Sleeping with
jealous.
Sirens, Bayside. Like it was the coolest shit I've ever done.
Can you invite me to that next time? Because
Yeah.
I
Funny story was,
He's got a
I
security
was sitting
shirt.
there. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Just walking around with a camera, dude. No one stops you. It's weird,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
you don't even have to be good at it. You just walk around with it.
He's got a lanyard on. It's got his kid's picture in it. I'm part of the
Exactly.
crew.
Yep. There is actually no governing body for photography, so like if you have a pass and it says media on it, like no one can really say no that you're not a media person.
That's a good.
Sometimes they make you vet it a little bit, but some local shows don't. But luckily, I really do have a company, so please don't stop me at the next venue. That would suck. But yeah, you meet these people and you get to go on these cool adventures, and it's the bands are sick. Like I love live music to death, and then to mix those two is still the most awesome part of doing photography. I love it to death, and
That's
yeah.
awesome. I was just gonna ask you if you had anything like big, like have any bands reached out that are like huge or anything like that?
No. Well, Sleeping with Sirens, I took a couple of photos for them, and I met their marketing agents for like their PR company, and they did reach out and ask to use some of the photos that I had. So I sent them to them, and I don't know where they got used because I'm not privy to that part, but I got the bassist basically like playing around with the camera dude that they had, and yeah, they asked me for those photos, and so I mean I have Emery, Thursday, like all those bands. It was just the coolest lineup ever. Like it was like literally my whole childhood lineup of like every band I love was all in one spot, and I'm standing like inches away from them taking photos. And I was just like,
amazing.
the funny part to that was 6 months prior to that, I got into photography, and I was like, man, I love concerts. I was like, in 6 months, I'm gonna shoot a band. And a year prior, I'd met Winter Haven. They played at Yucca Tap Room, and I talked to him there. And at the time, they didn't really need anything, and I didn't really have anything set to like be like, look, show my work. Fast forward a year, they're gonna play at Marquee, and I hit them up, and I'm like, hey, I'm a photographer, I'm local, I'm down to come shoot you guys if you want. Showed up, and like that instant connection, like we got along so well. And it's funny because I'm older and they're younger, but I still act like I'm younger than them. So they were like,
I totally
all right,
get
this
that.
old dude can come hang out. And yeah, man, rocked some. They just crushed the show. I love their music. And yeah, 6 months later, now I'm standing in front of like the bands that I've loved my whole life. And that still goes on. Like Alien Ant Farm's coming up with them. So if anybody likes Alien Ant Farm, they're going to be there with them at the Nile. So I will be there shooting as well.
I have an alien ant farm story I'll tell on the. But
I have one too, like
I
way
used
back
to,
in the day.
I used to, when I was in high school, I shaved my head like the alien ant farm guy. But I was in.
I like to think that I played bass for Alien Ant Farm.
Did you?
Because I did
Oh.
at one point.
Nice.
They were
What?
playing it. They were playing at well. So here's the story.
Here we go.
They were playing at Tempe Marketplace in the free thing
Yeah.
when they
Mm-hmm,
played the free concert, and the bass player got up on the fence, and I was like playing his bass while he was playing it.
Okay.
I cut my hair like alien ant farm guy in high school, and I was in ROTC, and they sent me home and made me shave my head because they're like, you can't do that, and I was like, oh okay. But I love it.
I was in a paintball tournament in Cali, and we ran into this waitress, and back then we were like 19 something, so we're hitting on this girl, and she's like, "No, my boyfriend's in this band called Alien Ant Farm," and we laughed. We're like, "What? That's the dumbest name ever." And then like 2 months later, we hear him on the radio, and I'm like, "Ah,
shit.
she got us." Like we were dumb as hell. So it's gonna be pretty funny, like full circle coming back to see him again.
Dude, that's awesome.
So have you ever run into Randy Johnson while you're photoing shoots? God, where did I see him?
He does
I think,
baseball, right?
Well, so he does a bunch of photography now. So he's got I think, God, I want to say it was at the Coheed show, man. When I went and saw Coheed and Avenged Sevenfold, he was shooting down in front,
Okay.
with the media.
Are you going to come to the Coheed show, Mike?
I want to. I
in
did
September?
not get tickets yet.
Oh, all right, get tickets.
Might be a reason why I might be out of town, but
okay.
I gotta look because I'm definitely gonna be at Pierce the Veil and Sleeping with Sirens.
When is that?
Couple weeks from now.
Okay. I'm going to try and go to that then, just to see you. And then tell my brother-in-law how to pronounce that band we were talking about going to see earlier today. Is it Bill Murray?
Bill Murray, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They just
I
spelled
told
it
you,
out.
man. I was like,
I always thought it was Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, Bellamy or whatever,
or something.
Yeah,
like
it's Bill
that,
Murray.
yeah. So
and he's like,
With
no, it's Bill
Driveways,
Murray, and I'm
another
like, no, there's
dope-ass
an I
band.
there. It says Bill Murray.
I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. So
Their big hit, Caddyshack.
He kept saying that it was Bill Murray, and I was like, no, I don't think that's it. But that's cool, man. Like, that is so cool. I'm so happy that you are doing what you're very passionate about. I wish it was the same on this end. I'm kind of like you, where it's like I have to keep working, so I'll just grasp to anything. I was having like a hard time with what I was doing, and I just needed to get the fuck out of it. So now I'm doing other stuff, but that doesn't matter because I'm not the one being interviewed. But you look super professional. You look super cool. I love your photos.
It's always nice when life leads you to that.
Do you have
man,
any embarrassing stories about me? I have to ask that.
Oh yeah, please let's share.
Yeah. I don't remember.
It's all good. I was just curious.
I think we should not go there. you might have fucked up once or twice in the military. Where it was the point where
once
like,
or twice,
what the
I
fuck
was
is
a
he
I was a
doing?
horrible soldier. It was not for me. Like
It was
I feel that
right
way
up
about-
until you deployed, and then you did a whole ass deployment perfectly fine.
Yeah, right.
No
Sure I did.
issues.
Yeah, there were zero
Well-
issues. I didn't get demoted or curse anyone out.
Yeah, I
or
mean,
fucking...
so it's funny because you look back at those times, and I always tell people like, there's two types of leaders. There's like ones you learn from, and then there's ones you learn not to do. And there was a whole lot of not to do like those people kind of leaders on that deployment, which what led me to go on the Afghan deployment because technically I didn't need to. I just got back from Iraq, and I was in my year window, and they actually took me off the list, and then I volunteered to go back on it because I was like, this is
It would have been cool
terrible.
if I was like in your team or whatever. I think I would have been okay. Like
yeah,
whatever.
hot dog salad was super fun. Yeah, I mean everybody would want to live on a base where you run out of water and you have to eat hot dogs and salad because we can't get refreshed with stuff.
Where were you guys at?
We were in that base in
Bala?
oh, what was it called? No,
No, because I was at Bala. I can't remember.
it was the it was in the ANA camp, so it was in the Afghan National Army camp, and we were a little base inside of theirs.
Fuck, I remember what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, do you want to hear a funny
yeah.
story about that?
I do always.
I am
Any
not
story
good
you
at
got.
I'm not good at golf, so we were hitting golf balls into the ANA camp, and which is probably really bad, and you shouldn't do that to your your fighting partners. But we were whacking golf balls into there, and I step up, and like I'm a sergeant, so I have a bunch of like subordinate soldiers. I'm not supposed to be like fucking around like this. I'm like, I got a wicked slice, and I hit this thing, and it curves and just hits one of the security lights and it shatters, and I literally just threw the golf club and ran away. I was like, I'm out. Like, no, we're gone. We're done. Like, never happened.
Oh, Jesus. Well,
That was followed up by flaming tennis balls over the fence too.
Jesus Christ! See, I got all the.
We were bored
shit.
as hell, man. It was like there was nothing to do except go on mission, come back, and sit in this tents together.
I know, same, but we got to go on more fun missions.
He's shooting flaming tennis balls. You're jerking off to fucking
on a plane.
bootleg movies.
I wasn't, believe me. I wasn't doing any of that. But all right, Mike, I'm gonna let you go. I know you got somewhere to be, and I don't.
Nah, man, I got time. If you get, I mean, we're only at 5:13. You had 13 minutes with me, and you're done.
No, I don't like to.
Now
keep
you know
people,
what,
man.
I like to turn this around. I'm going to interview you, sir.
Please do, Mike. Please.
Yes, here we go.
This will be fun.
So,
I've always wanted this.
You said, like life changed and you had to back out of what you were doing. I kind of knew about that already, but like you do this, like what I think is funny is like people do things that they could make money off of. And there's two things. They either don't charge enough for it, and they can, and they don't, or they don't fully go for it. Like, and I know a lot of people get worried about that, but
I can tell you right now, we go for it. We've done everything. Everything that you see here is like, it's hours of my research or whatever. We're trying really hard to make money. We're just going really slow. So like we started with like 3 viewers. We're up to like 80. And,
nice.
Yeah, and we had a show before this show and,
doing fairly well.
It was okay. We were piggybacking off of another show. So it wasn't a sincere audience. It was a audience that was being brought by something else. Well, I had a falling out with that person. And, I decided, cause I went into a really kind of like dark place after that happened. And I was listening to a lot of Joe Rogan and listening to like a lot of Adam Carolla. And I said, and these people always are interviewing like celebrities. They're always interviewing like really smart people and people that I find interesting. And I said, all my friends are really interesting. All the people who I run into on a daily basis are really interesting, but nobody ever interviews those people. And I said, that is the idea for our show, but we still love movies so much and stuff. We incorporate the movies into it and the snacks because that's just the way I am. But I thought that what was going to be the catalyst of this show was going to be having the third mic be a guest or a person that I find interesting. Like you were amazing in the military. I always regardless of what you think, I looked up to you. I thought you were a great soldier. I respected the fuck out of you, even though we were friends. Like I loved hanging out with you too, but as a soldier, I thought you were like the guy. When you joined Scottsdale, I saw you a couple times. I know I ran into you at Blink-182. Our lives just kept kind of passing by. Like I would love to hang out with you. I just don't think I ran in those circles. And then this horrible thing happens to you. This something that was avoidable. Whatever. Who cares? Like. A lot of people are like, well, that's your fault and stuff like that. I hate those type of
It is. It was. But they're right.
I know, but what I'm saying is like, okay, I made this mistake. That doesn't change the mistake. Now should I never be happy again type of thing? That's all I'm saying.
100%.
So it's like now you started this, almost like this dream company where you get to do what you want. You don't have a 9 to 5. You don't have to wake up to an alarm clock, or maybe you do, if you have to be somewhere to go shoot, I know you have somewhere to be tonight. That's kind of why I was trying to get you off. I just don't want to keep you. It's just like I find you're like the essence of our show because you're interesting. You are an interesting person. Like nobody would hear your story if it wasn't for stuff like this. And I think, and that's what I've always wanted to do. So it's not that we're not charging enough because there's no one to charge yet. As soon as we get like more listeners and stuff like that, we will. But it's building the brand. It's building the from nothing. And I don't want to be the guy who piggybacks off of other people's listeners and only is friends with people because they listen to another show. Scott and I have been doing this off and on for I don't know, probably 10 years.
Long time.
And we've never really came with a concept that was as strong as I think this is, because all of you, not including you, are so receptive to it. It's like, hey, I just want to interview you. Okay, cool. And then I just keep you for 15, 20 minutes. And then it's the most interesting part of my week. And then I go back and I listen to it. And I'm like, God, this is fucking interesting. And we get 800 views, 1,000 views on the video. And it's like, people like it. So it's going somewhere. It's just, it's not there yet. I'm not moving as fast as you are, but I am trying to inch my way in that direction.
Well, we're not like, I mean, the thing is we both have regular jobs.
Yeah.
You know, we're not, I guess we're not desperate.
Yeah.
For lack of better term, you know, like, I mean, you were in a situation where, I mean, I've been there, trust me. Like you get in a situation where you're like, shit, like I got to do something.
All or nothing.
Yeah. Like I've got to do something. Well, that's not what we have to work with this show. We're just kind of like, hey, we'll do this show and we'll just see how it goes. You know, I mean, it's one of those things. So, I mean, if it takes off, so be it. You know, I mean, everybody and their mother's got a podcast or a show now. You know, so it's like, how do you differentiate yourself between everybody else? And it's like, just hope that, you know, it builds up over time.
And we were doing the podcast thing, and I still call it a podcast, but it's more like, this is now just turned into a YouTube show.
We're kind of slowly morphing.
It's becoming just like, oh, people can interact with us, and you know, people can and stuff like that. I no longer care about the audio version. I just want to YouTube. I just want to do the YouTube. I think YouTube is where it's at. I think more people are receptive to YouTube. It stays up longer. It's more accessible than listening to something in your car or whatever. So
it's also just cutting shorts out of these and posting them on socials. That's where the big driver is.
I can't wait.
We've gotten a huge bump from that.
We have. Yeah.
And it's funny because I go to these, you know, big, lack of a better term, but like marketing meetings, and they talk about all the ways they market their brands and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised at how many of those people that are going on like Joe Rogan and stuff like that are paying like upward of $200,000 just for a spot on that thing. So like people look at other podcasts and they think, oh, my podcast isn't as great as like Joe Rogan's and stuff. But these people are coming out of the woodworks and they're paying mass amounts of money to be on them. You know, same thing with like bands, you know, they're paying to be on these tours. These young bands, you always wonder, you're like, how did that band that like has really no following get on with, you know, Emery or Bayside or something like that? And come to find out, like they're paying to be on these tours. So like what is funny now that I do marketing, media and socials and stuff like that is like how much of this stuff is crafted, fake, you know, pictured one way, but really is a totally different way. And so like your people's definition of success, and like going back to what I was saying about paying, I'm not necessarily talking about like your show, but like I run into other photographers and they're like, hey, I'm going to pay, you know, I'm going to charge these people like $200 to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, that is so massively, I was like, you break that down, you're making like $6 an hour. Like you have to portray yourself and you have to deliver, but you need to charge accordingly, and or you need to like do the work to get to that next level, but not look around at other people and go, oh, well, they're doing this and we're not successful because we don't have this. It's like, man, there's so much veil over everything in that social media world that finally got lifted for me, and that's how I could kind of see it. And then I was like, oh, makes sense. Like you could post a picture every day on your social media, but if it doesn't give education to people, if it doesn't give value to them, if it doesn't like give something to somebody else, a lot of times it's not going to go anywhere unless you just hit a viral thing. And then what you do on TikTok or what you do on Instagram has to be different. So there's like all these different strategies, all these different worlds. And you're right, YouTube is a longer form and people will actually sit down and listen to them. They're not going to do that on Instagram. You know, they're scrolling through. But when you have those little clips that catch people, then drive to, you know, your YouTube, it works.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because we post post clips from the show, and then I'll notice that the people that comment will get higher views on the YouTube show because the link is in our bio and stuff like that. And I always wanted to do like a grassroots type of thing. I don't want to be the guy that pays $3,000 for a bunch of listeners and you know or whatever. I want people to listen because they want to hear you. They want to hear about your journey, about, you know, they want to hear about whatever snack we're eating that week or whatever movie we saw. Like they care about our opinion. And I know a lot of the stuff that I listen to, a lot of stuff I consume it's just people paying for those reviews or whatever. But I don't want to be like that. And if that means it takes 10 years to fucking get off the ground, then that's what it takes. But I'm willing to put in the work for it. So it's like Scott said, I have a 9 to 5. I'm not going to be out of work, but
No.
I would, but if, somebody came knocking and was like, we'll give you we'll give you some money and
Give you some chicken tenders and some free beers.
Yeah.
we want to promote on your show.
Sponsors. You guys get
monetize
sponsored.
this or something. I'd be like, okay, and then I'd sit back and I'd look at it and I'd say, hey, okay, here's where we're at. Can I quit my job? I'm literally best friends with the guy next door. He worked at Native New Yorker and got into it with his boss, got fired. He is now a successful YouTuber. All he does is go fishing. But his entire week is him fishing in a canal in Arizona, and he's able to pay for a mortgage, 2 cars, and it's like this. It's not unobtainable.
And that guy is not just going fishing and coming home and being like, that's it.
There's a stress
he's
there
sitting
now.
down and crafting.
Yes.
Well, that too.
Correct.
But he's crafting the next, the series. He's creating stakes for himself. Like, that's the other part to this is like people just look at these people that are successful like that and they're like, oh, they just go out and do that. Like, I get that a lot. You
just go out and take pictures.
You're humbly saying like that I'm like getting to this next level and I am and I love it, but man, I'm working like 15, 16-hour days. I'm doing project on top of project after I'm done with the normal day. It's not, learning. I'm deep dive into YouTube to figure out strategies and how to do things. And like, I could sit here and build my own brand too. Like, but I don't. I go build these things for these other brands, and I like it. But man, the stress of like putting it down and trying my own thing, just me, man, that's ballsy.
Okay, you convinced me. Come, I'll pay you. You turn the social reel into the biggest thing on YouTube.
We'll talk about it afterwards. There's ways to do it, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay,
I can't give away my secrets on here.
And
then
I would never
be
ask you
competing against 80 people.
Yeah.
Not even like there's 4 people.
A lot
in
of
the chat
competition
right
over
now.
here, man.
Yeah.
So, but no, man, my ears just fucking hurt, killing me. So I get it, and I'm really proud of you, man. I'm glad to call you my friend, and I appreciate you coming on. And I hope you come on in the future.
I have a question for you. Have you seen Sinner yet? And are you going to see it in film on the
seen
IMAX?
Sinners, and I saw it in IMAX on 70 millimeter, and it is one of my favorite, if not my favorite movie of the year. Have you seen it?
I heard. I want to see it on the film, so I was waiting because I could have seen it, but I was like, I want to see it. Yeah, the like one in Tempe where it's like,
yes,
let's do it.
I will.
Yeah,
I
that's
will go
amazing. The score and how they filmed it, and
it's so
pretty much
good.
every aspect ratio ever invented, they filmed it in, and I heard like you can see it in like almost like damn near 3D, 4D, like you can feel blood fucking hitting you. I'm like,
dude,
what aspect ratio did they not get in?
It's really
Do
good.
you want
I
to be
think
on the podcast too.
I think
We're animal friendly here.
Yeah, we love.
Yeah, he's being very needy right now. He's like, what's up?
What's up, buddy? Any words?
We'll probably
of advice?
get more, that'll be the clip that we post. It'll get all the views right there because it's got a dog in it.
Look this way. Look this way.
Take screenshots.
It's like 1 million
Say
views.
hello. Say hello. Them. Not me.
What's his name?
All right, get out of here. This is streets.
Streets.
He was found in the streets. He was found in a chicken coop.
Oh wow.
He didn't eat the
Steve-O,
chickens.
like your Steve-O dog.
I thought he came from the streets.
He did. He was in the streets, and now he is my pet. And he's a Belgian Malinois, and he's 2 years old, and he's hilarious.
That's awesome, dude. What else you want to go see in the theater? Let's talk about movies.
That is the one that I was like, I did a lot of like research. I was like, why do people film it on film? Like,
Film's better,
digital
in my
is
opinion.
so crazy. It is, but that's a lot of work. And
I don't know
of like you could fuck some shit up real quick with film.
I think it's the old school mentality.
Well,
it's old head type stuff.
Nolan,
like people that collect
Christopher
records.
Nolan films everything on film. All his movies are on film. But dude, we have so much to talk about off the air. But my wife works for Southwest. We can hop over and go to California and go to Tarantino's theater and watch some movies on film if you want. And you can take a shit
in the smallest
take a
bathroom ever.
shit. No, you can take a shit ton of photos. That's all I meant.
I thought I was totally blown where you were going with that.
I just paused.
I was
I
like,
went
you
to the
want?
nearest thing I could think of.
Well, this theater does have one of the world's smallest bathrooms,
It is
and I thought
weird.
that's exactly what you
No,
were
no,
going
no,
with.
no, no, no. I don't. No, I just meant like you could take a shit ton of pictures of the theater and like that downtown area because it's where like
Yeah.
all the celebrities hang out. All the like, it's like if you love film, especially like movies and stuff.
A bunch of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sets
Yeah,
kind of around that.
Yeah.
Those blocks.
It's worth it. So
Yeah.
if you're ever
What
down,
do you think of this AI stuff now?
So we use AI for like
Use it for a lot.
for like our music
Oh, I know,
intros and I use them a little bit for thumbnails. I don't really like them that much, but I believe that it's useful in some aspects. I believe that if you are a multi-million-dollar corporation and you're using AI,
Yeah, you shouldn't be using
it
it.
just feels like you're cheap. Again, you didn't want to pay somebody. If you're up and coming, I think it's okay because
I think it's got its limitations.
You don't have a lot of money,
Yeah.
so it's something
That
you can
VO3 thing though is crazy,
Oh,
where it's
dude,
matching
it's scary.
sound and
I don't know
sound
what we're gonna
design.
do. That might be the end
I
of
think
the
it just
world.
aids two things. I mean, if you want my opinion about AI, is yeah, it could take away some things, but it'll just be another tool like the internet was. I mean, everybody was like,
Exactly.
"Holy shit, the internet," you know.
We just-
But brand-wise, you can never recreate emotion or brand loyalty through AI.
That's true.
I tell you, I do use AI on things like scripting and stuff like that, just because it gives you a good starting point. But we always fine tune it to be like authentic to the brand that we're using. I've been using it recently to like get pictures. Like if I have a picture in my head and I'm going to go do a shoot, I try to get the AI to create it so I can get it as close as I can, and then I'll go out and actually shoot the image.
That's pretty fun.
And that's been pretty cool. Yeah, like I can let's see if I can pull it up here and you can see it.
Mike has been.
I don't know if you can see this.
It's
Maybe not. Well,
clear.
focus. Come on, you can do it. No, maybe. Let's see if
Oh,
we
there we go.
manually do this.
Oh,
I'm just gonna manually focus it, and I need to turn the screen down. Hold on.
Speaking of fishing, Porter
Oh, yeah.
likes your dog.
That's the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that lives next door, who's like the greatest
He was-
fishing.
You
YouTube
said that
guy.
the dog was the only one that's gonna get stuff.
yeah,
let's see if
we-
we'll do it now.
They won't care about our actual content.
Oh, okay, there we go.
That's sick.
So, AI image. Well, wanted to focus back on me. Let's keep it here. AI image, and then on the left is the actual image I took, and it's a little light, so you can't see it as much. Well, maybe we'll get there eventually. Let me back up. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So, like that one on the side here is the AI image with the Happy Father's Day over it, and the other one is the other image we got, and it's fairly close. But when you see it in real, like once I export it and stuff, the colors are so close to each other. It's crazy.
Dude, that's awesome.
So that's how we're using it in my world.
I agree with you about it's just going to be a tool and stuff. The VO3 thing does kind of scare me because now there is a conspiracy theory about like the prompts.
Fake news.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's like the prompts complex or something where AI doesn't know if it's AI because it's so real, and it's I don't know what we're going to do as a society because it's going to become so good that it's going to show fake like stuff and people are just going to buy it because it's going to be on the internet.
But the weird thing is like, so I have a background in graphic design. You look at like Photoshop now, it's all incorporated into Photoshops. So anybody who has Photoshop can do it. You could just be like, hey, remove these people in the background. You click a button and it's done. Something that would have taken me hours to do manually now does it on its own. So it's like everything is incorporating it. So it's either you kind of run with it, or it's kind of, I mean, it's one of those things, you get left behind or you embrace it. You know, it's
I use it and it speeds up the process. I don't think it necessarily takes away from creativity. Like concepting ideas and getting your art into the world. This is just a tool. Like some people may use this as, like I said, where I sucked at drawing, but I wanted to take photos because they were the quickest and easiest way for me to make art in the style that I liked. So, I mean, this could be something for somebody else. I don't know if it's necessarily going to like ruin things because, I mean, those aren't easy to use too. And like to get good results, you really have to know what you're doing. And I was listening to this YouTube thing about AI, and they were saying like you would need an art director to concept the art that's going into these AI images. So that person has to know their background in creating, sets and stuff like that, to have the idea of the prompts to put into to make these things.
Right.
The photographer would like need to know composition and lighting and the way to articulate that through words to actually create the image to look as realistic as possible. If you just come into it and you have no idea what you're doing, you're going to be like, give me an image of this. And it may be okay. But like to really refine it, like I want side lighting and I want it to, have this depth of field and I want them to have this much texture on their skin. That's where it's like your knowledge of what you're making is better. So like for instance, like a band, if they know how to orchestrate things together and mix and stuff like that, they'll make a lot better of a prompt than somebody who's just like, make me a song.
This is the most interesting conversation I've ever had on this show. Yeah, man, I didn't even think of that. Like, that's crazy. But that's cool that like you can use it for that kind of setup. Like with that knowledge, you could take over the world. Like legitimately, you could just be.
It just speeds it up, or it helps with pitch
up,
decks. So I can tell
world.
people
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I can get clients to, book me because I can be like, here's my idea. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Porter, he thinks it's a time saver and great tool, just like a dishwasher.
But doesn't like when it's in place with genuine creativity.
Yeah,
which is
That's-
something
I
you
think
can't
everybody
really
can- I think
you can't
everybody
teach
can
to
get
people.
behind
There's
that. Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
things you can't teach. This is like photography, man. You can't anybody can go out and snap a picture,
Mhm.
but you have to capture it from the right angles. You have to capture the right
lighting,
the
the
right
textures,
framing
just
of
like you were
what you're
talking
looking
about.
at, man. It's definitely it's a tool, but the person, it's the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, and it's pretty cool learning about all this stuff
right
and
now.
being in this world. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So like, learn the aspects of these careers if you want to still be in them, because they're not going to go anywhere.
That's
and
why I don't
I
care
can
if my-
build prompts for people, but even then, like you can use it, but it's still not going to help you if you
Right.
don't know what you're looking at or how to articulate what you want out of it.
That's why I don't care if my kids play on the iPad. I'm like, you're gonna need this shit when you're fucking 10 years from now, and you have to run everything with an AI interface and to being competitive. I'm like, just start now, because it's just gonna get worse. We're not in the time of rotary phones anymore. It's like this stuff is gonna pass us by if it doesn't fucking if you don't learn it, you're just gonna be
Yeah, if you don't use it, it's definitely going to kill you.
exactly. So
And we got to stop Terminators, so you need to know how to take it down.
exactly, we got to know what AI is gonna
Yeah, you
stop.
gotta
the
know how to
Terminator.
confuse it with its prompts so you can punch it in the face when it comes time.
That's right. You know what I like to use AI for? Seeing if Superman can beat up various characters from
But that's what he uses it for.
from DC.
You think he's
Yeah.
kidding?
No, I
You think
all
he's
the
kidding?
time,
No.
like, I constantly. I'll be sitting there and I'll just be like, I wonder if Superman could beat this character. And then I'll ask, and then it'll give me like this long, and I'll sit there and I'll read the whole thing, like 20-minute long response, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
I did it the other day to
No.
like create like a D&D character.
Oh my god!
And it created this
ultimate one?
whole fucking thing, and the points and everything. And I know nothing about D&D. And I showed this guy. I go, "What do you think of this character?" He goes, "That's insane. Yeah, that would never be possible." And I'm like, "All right, well, I guess it's got some work to do then."
Oh man, we had this guy at this place I work and shoot for, and he created an AI girlfriend. And if you haven't tried this, it is
There you go.
hilarious.
I don't want an AI girlfriend.
So no, oh my god, dude, he was like
All of a sudden your
full
phone
on
starts
thought
going
that this
off.
thing- yeah, he thought this thing was prompting him like on its own because it cared about him. And
Oh no!
we were like, I was like, if I could get hold of his phone and prompt it to send a picture of the AI image that it created at like 1 a.m. at the club, I was gonna do it and then erase the prompt. So it just randomly sent him a picture at the club with some other people and drove him
Wow.
absolutely nuts.
When your phone beeps and it's like, "Where are you?" And you're like,
Oh,
"What?
yeah.
Hold on."
Yeah.
All I can. I argue enough with one girl. I don't need to argue with a fake girl,
Yeah.
especially
you
one that
don't, you
isn't going to
don't,
have
because
sex with me.
it's
so-
totally subservient to you.
No.
like whatever you ask it to do. And it's just hilarious. This space girl like that it created kissing in it. And we took that image and with a couple very crafty prompts, because you can't just make a cuck image. You have to actually be very crafty in your words. I had an image of me making out with his girlfriend and him being sad in front of me, and we sent it around to him.
Oh, that's hilarious.
God, dude. Do you still have it? Can we see?
Oh yeah, I gotta find. Let's go down this rat. Let's do this again.
Oh, funny.
Please
I know
hold
it's right
while we
here.
get the cuck image from fucking.
I put the waiting music on.
Oh yeah, got it. Here we go.
I'm
All
sure
right.
it's AI.
So here is the original image. Let's focus this up again.
this is my.
Where are you
favorite
going?
part.
There it is. All right,
Oh
there's
my God.
there's the one he showed us and was like,
Is that
"Oh
him?
man, she loves us." Yeah, that's his
He looks
AI
like
version.
Dan Blazarian.
Right?
Right?
Girls Gone
And then-
Wild.
Here's the one I made. That's him without a beard now. Me making out with his girl. And then to get to that, it took a second. So like I had one where I was like, we were touching his chest, and I was like,
Oh, that's fucking.
this
funny.
isn't. This is
They're like,
close,
oh,
but
threesome?
not really where we need it to be.
Oh, Jesus.
Cucking himself.
Oh, dude, it was hilarious.
That's fucking
Man, we
great,
died,
dude.
died laughing.
Tell me next time you see him. Tell me he looks like Dan Blazarian.
All right, you can't say him anymore. Did you hear
What?
what happened?
Did he get canceled?
All right, so you know
I
I
don't
play
know.
paintball still, right?
Yeah. No, I didn't know
paintball?
that, but I knew
I
you
still
liked
do,
it.
Yeah, I've been playing intermittently. Well, anyways, Dan Brazilian made a team, and that dude showed up, and he had like straight up Nazi symbols all over his gun,
Oh,
to the point where they were
no.
like, "What happened? Like, who did this? For one, like, who actually like made this? And then, why would you bring it to a national tournament and like walk around with it?" So he got booted, and everybody's like, "Yeah." Super like, and I
Really?
was like, "Oh, was it misinterpreted or no?" Straight up
Straight up
Fucking-
swastikas.
swastika right on the front of
SSs.
it with the
Oh,
SS on the
Jesus.
side. Yeah,
Jesus
Jeez.
and I was like, "What the hell?"
Dude, that's
So yeah,
fucking
he's
crazy.
you can't talk about him. He's
Oh,
canceled
sorry.
now.
You're canceled, bro. Sorry.
Yeah,
All those
right
hot
here. You heard it
chicks.
first on TSR. He is
Money,
canceled.
money doesn't buy common sense.
We should start calling
No.
this TSR.
It's right there,
good-
brother. Right there.
See, look, we're already
Yeah.
learning from Mike. TSR. That's
It's right
the name
there.
of
It's in the corner.
I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying. It's easier to
It's
say.
like My
It rolls
Chemical
off the
Romance,
tongue.
dude. It's
Yeah.
MCR. It's
MCR.
it's right there. How did you not put that together?
I know. I got
It's
it.
My
I
Chemical
just-
Romance, but it's your initials.
Yeah, we need to come up with our own Helena.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
fucking Black Parade.
Acronyms, bro.
Yeah, it's the way of the
Okay.
future.
So, Mike, we do have some snacks to try and some movies to talk about. So I am going to let you go, but I would
Okay.
like to have you back on very soon. Is that okay?
Yeah, as long as you spell my last name right. So if you throw a Lanouar in there,
Oh,
on
that's
the
my
show.
producer, not me.
I was
I'll come
like,
back
I
in this
did it.
show. I promise I'll
AR?
come back if you put my just fucking around. I don't care, dude. You can ask him. My last name has been mispronounced so many times. It's.
Did you get it right on
insane to me,
the title?
I don't know. I think it says it's so
but
long.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm going to change the title anyways. It's just so that people watch it. I don't
Yeah.
really. I always
And
change the
if
title.
anybody out there's into photo
Yeah.
video work and want
Please.
to learn some stuff, I've been getting asked a lot of questions about how to like do certain things in photo and video world or social media or whatever. And so if you DM me questions, I will answer them the best I can.
So head over to Trouble Seas Media at Instagram if you want to see some fucking incredible pictures.
Yeah, don't worry about the spelling before this. This
Well,
is the
you,
correct
you
spelling.
can't find it on his Instagram, so don't worry about it. You won't even know unless
Yeah.
you go to his website. You only know
I'm a
his name is
ninja.
Mike.
Exactly.
You wouldn't even know Lanouar. So,
Yeah.
but head over there, give him some love. Tell him you heard him on the show or whatever, and we will talk to you. I'll message
hit me
you.
up.
Yeah, we'll get you on again very soon because this is the
Well, I
longest we've
appreciate
ever
it.
talked to somebody, and this is definitely one of the most interesting conversations we've ever had.
Fucking
so.
self-celebration right there.
Yeah, buddy. So, all right, Mike, you have a great night. I know you got to go shoot some
You too.
stuff. So, and we will
Always.
we will talk to you later, my friend.
All right, man. Later.
Appreciate
Bye,
it.
guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yep. Wow, that was amazing. Yeah, definitely go check him out on Instagram. So,
Yes, Mike Lanouar with an A.
no, it's Lanouar.
Lanouar.
So there you go. I just said it like 4 times.
I'm too busy producing.
All right,
man.
we have
I
a
can't pay attention.
Few snacks to try. He's still in the thing. Release him.
He is.
He's released.
Oh, he has to click himself out.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ.
So let's try it. Let's try it. We only got 3. So like I said at the top of the show, if you're, I know Mike was an incredible fucking interview. So if you're like, oh, that's enough, I don't want to hear about your snacks, fatty. Oh, well.
But you got snacks, and you have to hear about our movies.
So we still got a little bit to talk about.
We only had a couple.
This is a long one, supersized episode. Okay, so went to the Walmart. I did not even think I was going to find this because I didn't think it was going to be out for a while. But I got the Flaming Hot Cheetos cheddar barbecue flavor. I'm excited about this. I think this is the flavor that lends itself most to the Flaming Hot.
They're just
title.
going all in on Flaming Hot, man. I mean, why wouldn't you? I guess that's their big money. I guess.
Porter did say while we were still talking to Mike. Sorry, Porter. I saw this. We were just having such a good conversation. There are definitely people who use AI to be lazy. Saw this yearbook that had a year summary paragraph, and the end was like, "Let me know if you would like anything changed." Oh my God, that's kind of pathetic. That's pathetic.
But it's the same as like teachers that are putting hidden prompts in like their homework assignments and syllabus. So when somebody uses AI, it says they put like hidden stuff in there. It says always incorporate this into this, and it will. So they know when somebody's used AI to do their homework assignments.
These chips are excellent. You're not too flaming
Not hot.
No.
At all.
Little kick on the back end, but nothing flaming about them.
It's like a Cheeto with kind of like a spicy barbecue,
It's nice.
but it's kind of muted. Like the barbecue is not super heavy.
Correct. You digging it? Wow.
I don't hate it.
No, it's a good barbecue.
Yeah, I don't hate it at all.
It's hard to find a good barbecue chip. So, I'm gonna give them 4. Those are probably my favorite Flamin' Hot chip.
I think I'm about right there too.
Even the dill pickle ones.
It
are
was
too
not
hot to eat.
disappointing at all. I was
$65 for a fucking yearbook. $65 for a fucking yearbook that had AI shit in it. Oh, I would have called him out immediately. I'd have been like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's bullshit. If we're paying $65,
I mean,
you better come up with your own original shit."
the AI thing has gotten like to the point where it was like it wasn't the greatest, but it has gotten a lot better. Like I do use it for like when I design stuff, I will use it for certain elements, and then take those elements and do my own like work and kind of use it that way. But
I'll send you the video I saw on X where it's literally AI people talking about, are we just all prompts? And it's really fucking creepy, dude.
oh yeah, well they had that one where they tried to like shut it down, and the AI wouldn't shut itself down.
Yeah,
they
I
said
remember
no,
that.
turn it off, and they're like, no, we can't turn it off. I have to keep going.
Yeah. So I found these at the Dollar General. These are 1 and 2 flavors. I couldn't find the other flavor. The Fritos guy was literally there. And he told me that the lime and jalapeno, he hadn't even heard of them, but I did find the cheddar buffalo. So I'm hoping these are good.
How many meth addicts did you have to step over to get those?
All of them. All of the ones in the tri-state
Was there
area.
was like when you went to Dollar General? Was there just carts and carts of product down the
Of
aisles?
course. That's the only
Like
way.
it never it never gets better.
I love it when Porter watches. It makes me feel good. These don't taste like anything.
It tastes like plastic, like chemical.
I don't taste anything.
Is that supposed to be the buffalo?
The plastic? I don't know.
It try it again. It reminds me of, when you walk down the pool aisle, all the toys have that plasticky weird smell. That's kind of what it tastes like. It's like pool toys. You don't get that?
No, but
Am I the only one? It's my brain
it
aneurysm.
tastes like cheddar or Frito. It doesn't taste like anything. Those are our one.
Those are spicier than the Flamin' Hot, but that flavor is weird. Yeah, I'm saying 1. It's just like it's got a weird flavor.
Porter said Facebook made an AI model that created its own AI model and started speaking to it in its own language, and Facebook shut the whole program down. Well, that's good.
Well,
because that's how you get Terminator.
It's probably still talking to itself.
And then the last but not least, the most disappointing snack I've ever found. I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, there's been some disappointment.
Yeah.
Trust me, we've had our share of disappointing snacks.
So, these are the Chips Ahoy Cinnamon Bun. Now, let me tell you why this is disappointing before I've even tried it yet.
Because we know what it's going to taste like.
Because I know what it's going to taste like. It's going to taste like a Snickerdoodle cookie. And if you've ever in your life gone to Cinnabon at the fucking mall and gotten the chocolate chip cookies, it's literally a chocolate chip cookie with a like on top of a cinnamon.
Chips Ahoy. Hear me. Listen to me.
That's all they had to do.
All they have to do is put like a little cup in there with like a Dunkaroo thing with the icing.
That's it.
Come on, Chips Ahoy.
So
at least give us something different.
they smell like cinnamon rolls.
I mean, it does. It smells like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's even worse than I thought. First off, they're not fresh. They're dry as hell.
It's cinnamon. Just as you, it tastes exactly like I expected it to taste.
Snickerdoodle cookie. One. Well, that was a huge waste of time. All right, let's get in these movies and get the hell out of here.
Well, movies, huh?
See you later. I didn't watch this. You did.
I finished chewing. It's dry ass cookie.
Gross.
So this one is Netflix's like that whole R.L. Stein like line that they're doing, Prom Queen. We watched this last night. I've never read any of the books, and I kind of really didn't even think when I turned it on, I didn't realize that it was like already a book, and people probably already know what happens. This is the most predictable horror flick that you will ever imagine. 20 minutes into this, when like everything starts happening, all the killers start happening, there's a point that something happens, and I looked over at my wife and I said, I know exactly who the killers are. Killer. I know what the motivation is, and I know exactly what's going on. There was a very, very slight twist on what I thought it was, but it happened exactly how I predicted it. So, was it a fun watch? Meh. Probably not as... I get where they're going with it. They're trying to do... It was all very 80s. Like, oh, we're in the 80s. But then they like... You know how they try too hard to make it 80s? So, it's definitely not as fun as like a Happy Death Day or, you know, Totally Killer that are like kind of fun. It was just okay. It's on Netflix. If you want to watch it, it's not horrible, but it's just kind of meh. That's my review.
I don't want to. I never even finished when they did the Fear Street and they did the 3 movies.
The 90s.
I saw the 2 and I never even watched.
I never watched the third one. Same thing.
Fuck off. I don't care. I watched this a couple weeks ago. We actually should have talked about it on last week's episode, but I watched Another Simple Favor with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick and everybody from the first movie. First movie's good. Second movie is absolute shit. It doesn't even feel like the same. It doesn't even feel like it's in the same universe. And
so it's no Glass Onion.
No, Blake Lively gets out of jail for some, like, on a technicality from after the first one's over, and then she invites
I'd never watched the first one.
Anna Kendrick over to be her maid of honor. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a direct-to-video sequel of like that. What was that? Adam Sandler, Jennifer, whatever her name is from Friends.
I know what you're talking
Jennifer
about.
Aniston. It was like Date Trip or whatever. It felt exactly like that.
I can't think of the name.
Blake Lively, not only is she a terrible person, she's just a horrible actress. She's just the worst person in the world. None of this is entertaining. And I really need to say this because we're now living in a world where this guy gets to just make anything. Bomb after bomb after bomb. Paul Feig is a terrible director. He has not directed a good movie except for Bridesmaids. Heat wasn't good. Well, actually, First Simple Favor was fine. But Paul Feig is a terrible director. He keeps getting chances. He keeps getting chance after chance after fucking chance. And his movies are terrible. I think he directed that Jackpot movie with John Cena last year. Nobody liked it. Paul.
Cena!
Time to hang it the fuck up. Goodbye. These movies are shit. The twist was stupid. The movie was dumb. You should have left it at a simple favor. Because
that movie was at least good. Blake Lively was still a human being and not a fucking alien. This movie sucks. If you liked it, you're dumb. Next.
And drum roll.
I had a chance to go out and see Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, which is what I believe to be the final Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. If I'm wrong, okay, that's fine. It feels like it because this movie relies so heavily on nostalgia that it's kind of embarrassing. You get to see both the first Mission Impossible and the third Mission Impossible multiple times in this film. The villain is an AI entity, which is, I know, very timely since it's what we were talking about tonight.
I feel like Tom Cruise at this point is an AI entity.
Yeah,
the guy's 62 years old.
He must stop this AI entity by being unpredictable. A lot of what happens in
I'm going this way.
Yeah.
Oh, serpentine.
Yeah, a lot of what happens in this movie is because movie. Like, it has to happen, otherwise...
I feel like it's every Mission Impossible movie.
No. Most Mission Impossibles are like, okay, that makes sense. Like, okay.
I'm going to jump from rooftop to rooftop.
Yeah, well, this one's more like, I'm going to jump in the middle of the ocean.
Parkour!
I hope somebody finds me. It's 3 hours long. No reason for it to be 3 hours long. After coming off
How many running scenes?
Several.
Really?
Yeah, like right away. There's one.
Just right off the bat?
Yeah, like right
He
away.
runs through the main title sequence?
Yeah. No, actually he doesn't, but it's like right after the main title sequence. There's a really good villain in the ones before this, like Rogue Nation, Fallout, all that stuff. That villain rules. This guy, Gabriel, little bitch, he fucking sucks. I did not care about him at all. Haley Atwell's addition to the movies was fine. It gets a huge pass because the action sequences, especially at the end, are absolutely fucking incredible. But other than that, there's nothing really there. It might be worse than the second one. Did I hate it? No, but it's not a good movie.
It's kind of like a Jason Statham movie, you know?
Yeah, so that's
bearable.
Yeah,
you could watch it.
Yeah, like it's entertaining.
But when you're comparing it to the series of movies,
it's entertaining. It feels like a backslide to me. They definitely didn't nail the landing, and they really, 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 really relied heavily on because movie and nostalgia. So those are the movies we have seen this week. No shows. I haven't watched really anything. I've been watching baseball and The Simpsons.
I finished Extracted, which we talked about last week.
Oh, yeah.
Go watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't
was
seen
I right?
it, go watch it.
I was right.
Yeah, get it on Hulu, because you can watch it for free on Hulu, but apparently you have to pay for it on Prime.
That's stupid.
It's stupid. But it's so mean.
Kids.
It's like...
It's the meanest
Meanest
reality show I've
what
ever
the
watched.
Fuck? And some of the people are just so unbearable. And
I know.
Oh, Jesus. Anyways, yeah, go watch it if you haven't seen it. I mean, we already talked about it, but...
All right, guys, we're going to wrap things up here. We will be back next week. I'm not sure if we have a guest next week. I know I have another Army buddy type person coming on. I'm not sure. I think that's going to be on the 8th, but we will definitely have something for you next week. We really, really want to thank Mike for coming on.
Yes.
Like I said,
With
head
an
over
A.
to Trouble Seas.
Mike with an A.
Lanouar. Head over to Trouble Seas Media. Give him a like and follow. He has always been genuinely a great dude. And support the hell out of him. And yeah, we will see you next week. I'm Aaron.
I'm Scott.
Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later.
Social